pulls down his hat and keeps his wheels on rolling, chasing the dreams of a back 40 kind of life.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Back 40 TV. Today I got something different. It's a little bit different video than what I've been posting. It's just something I'm really passionate about. I love duck hunting, guys. I am a duck hunting fool. Love it. Love duck hunting. But my favorite part of duck hunting is the calling. I love to call. I could go on a good duck hunt and call ducks, never fire a shot, and I've had a blast. As long as I'm calling the ducks are working and working in. It's just an awesome time for me. I love it. So what I want to do today is I have a lot of friends who don't know how to blow a duck call, who don't know how to call ducks, and there are a lot of people out there that don't. There are a lot of people that try and have gotten the basics. And I can't tell you how many times I've been hunting with guys that barely know a basic quack, and that's all they do because they can't progress their learning further just because, you know, either A, nobody's taught them, or they can't find the right video online to learn, whatever it may be. So that's what this video is about. So what I have here is just one of my custom calls I made. I make calls, Back 40 custom calls, okay? Just a double reed call. It's hand-tuned, hand-cut by me. It is, I mean, I like it. It's nice. It sounds good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the basics, and I'm going to go through each different specific call type or call or whatever. And as I go through these calls, I'm going to explain when you would use those calls, when I would use those calls, and how to blow or how to create each specific call. Disclaimer, this is not about winning a duck call championship. I don't do duck call championships. Honestly, I'm not that great at it. And two, ducks don't go to duck call championships. Alright, so first, you have the basic quack. And in that is your foundation for everything you're going to do with a duck call. Breath control is first and foremost, okay? So you're taking your breath from your diaphragm. It's got to come from deep, from within, okay? You're not blowing air with your cheeks. It's coming from inside, okay? Think about the best way to find that control, to find those muscles, to make that air is take a cough. Alright? Or like a fake laugh. Like if you have a friend that tells a stupid joke and it's not funny. Alright, the same thing. Except you're not blowing your breath, you're blowing controlled bursts of air. And you're going to control those air bursts with your tongue at the roof of your mouth and, you know, the same muscles in your diaphragm. Okay? So you see a lot of these videos, people show you they blow into the call backwards, and that's what I'm going to do. They also say, you say a word into the call. Hut, tut, you know, fut, whatever it may be, you don't say a word in the call. If you did, if you said tut, it would be, and that would sound like crap. You don't do that. What you're doing is, you're blowing a controlled burst of air, and you're cutting it off with your tongue. I'm going to blow into the back of the call, and I'm going to show you what I mean. As I'm doing that, I'm progressively, as I want the note to end, I'm cutting the air off with my tongue at the roof of my mouth, okay? Alright, so you get this. Another thing with the basic quack. Alright, to add definition to sound more like a duck, if you want to sound more ducky, which if you're watching this video, I assume you do, you hold the call in your hand just like this, between your thumb and your index. You don't have to squeeze, clamp down on it, none of that. Okay, you just hold the call in your hand, just like this. Alright, you're going to use your fingers and your hand to create like a channel, like a cave, to get some reverberations and some air control to where you can throw that sound. What you're doing is essentially with this here, you're sounding like a duck opening their mouth and throwing that sound, okay? If you don't, and you just leave your hand open, you don't have any definition. You're still going to make the quack, but you don't have any definition, okay? So you're going to sound like this. See the difference? Okay. And another thing, okay, you hold the call. You don't do this, okay, all right, and you don't do. A lot of people say, hold it in the corner of your mouth. Some people do. Some people can't call if they don't hold the call in the corner of their mouth, and that is completely okay as long as you have the essentials right and you're making these right sounds. Let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit. All right, you want your tone board up, that plastic piece where the reeds sit. Okay, this plastic piece is your tone board. These are your reeds, obviously, and then you got your exhaust on this end. So what you want to do is you want your tone board up, reeds down. It'll give you better control, and that's really going to help you more in the areas of a hiccup or feed call. That's going to be the ticket. Hold the barrel of the call to your mouth like a Coke bottle. Here. See that? If you're hunting in open water, you would call just like I just did. If you're hunting in timber, get it a little bit lower, a little bit more raspy, a little bit more quiet. You're going to have to add some finesse in some timber because it echoes, everything reverberates, and these ducks can hear really well. They see really well, they will pick you out. Down in some timber, all right, just say if you're in Arkansas or, down in the swamps of Louisiana like we are, you got those cypress trees, they're everywhere, they're thick, and they echo these sounds. So you want to get it quiet down, get it kind of raspy, get it low, and you just want to talk to them. Quick quack. That's it. Part 2 is your basic just communication call, or a lot of people call it a comeback call. However you want to refer to it, this is the second essential tool for calling ducks. Okay? If you've ever been sitting in a good spot, maybe on public land or in your private blind or whatever, just before daylight, you start hearing ducks all around. They might be 50 yards from you. They might be 100 yards from you. But you can hear those ducks, those morning hens, those morning mallard hens waking up, and they'll go to talking, and then you hear some chattering going on. But that hen always makes that same sound on the water waking up that morning. You always hear it. That's it. That's where she's at. She's waking up. Okay. To make that sound, all right, to make the comeback call or the just communication, it's just a communication call as far as I'm concerned. I've used it for many different things. Just a duck on the water, they'll do it flying, whatever. To make that sound, I'm going to use the back of the call again, all right, and here's what it sounds like. All right, I'm cutting that note. At the beginning of the note, I'm chopping it with my diaphragm. Not too much air. I'm not screaming into the call. I'm not super forcing it out. And really, that how much force you put with your air depends on your call. I have this call custom tuned to exactly how I like it, and it is what it is. The communication call or the comeback call, that's basically what it is. You can use anywhere from 3 notes. They do that. And morning hens are waking up, 3 notes is all it is. Anywhere from 3 to 7 notes. Because it's up to you. You want it to be random. You don't want to sound like a machine. You don't want every comeback call you blow, you don't want it to be 5 notes. See that? You know, you want to sound like more than one duck for one, but you actually want to sound natural. So you might hit them with, you know, a little bit lower tone to sound like a different duck with 3 notes. Then you might hit it with a higher tone with 6 or 7 notes to sound like a completely different younger duck. See the difference? That's it. And like I said, to blow that call, all you got to do. See, you know, as it progresses, the notes get shorter and they get less aggressive. Same thing. So use that call as a comeback call. Just say you're watching the birds, okay? You and your buddies are there. You got your decoy spread out, and you got this group of mallards or gadwall or, you know, pintail, whatever they are. We're gonna speak on mallards specifically because that's the type of call we're using. The ducks come over, they come around, they make a circle. As they come around behind you and they're facing you, when they're looking at you, coming to you or right behind you, don't call. Because those ducks, while they're looking at you and they have their ears pinpointed to you, because you have their attention, they're looking for you, okay? If you call while they're looking at you, they're going to pick you out, and they will see your outline. If you're, I mean, you would have to be just about invisible for a duck not to pick you out if you call while they're looking at you, especially if it's a decent-sized group, because if you've got 12 mallards, you've got 24 eyes looking around trying to find you. The best advice I think ever given in duck calling tips was, I heard an old man say it one time, and then it seems like after I heard it that first time, it just, everybody says it. But you call it wingtips and tail feathers, okay? Those ducks come around, wait till they're facing away from you. All right, they're probably going to turn, and they're going to be kind of, you know, banked in or whatever it may be. Wait till they're facing away from you, and, you know, they're making that big wide turn, you know, whether it's to the right or to the left. When they're facing away from you, that's when you call at them. And you don't have to be aggressive. Your aggressiveness and your volume should depend on how the ducks are acting, how far away they are. Is the wind blowing hard? Is it foggy? Okay, because those are factors. If the wind's blowing hard and the ducks are 30 yards away, I'm going to have to blow a little bit harder to cut through that wind for those ducks to be able to hear me. Compared to if it's on a calm day, a clear day, and the birds are 30 yards out, I'm going to have to call a little bit more quiet because you don't want to be yelling at these birds. The best analogy I can give, just say you're going to a high school football game with friends or family, or, you know, some type of function, you know, a concert or whatever, okay? We're going to use a high school football game for our analogy. Just say your friends and family know you're going to this football game and they want to meet you there. You know, they intend to meet you there and you guys are going to have a good time, but you get there first, okay? You're sitting in the stands in the bleachers and you see, you know, your friends and family walk by, but there's 1,000 people there and they can't see you. They can't peek you out of the crowd. So what you do is you get their attention. You're like, hey, I'm over here, right here. And they're like, oh, hey, cool, all right. And they come over, they sit with you, you enjoy the game or whatever. But just imagine they're walking by and you start jumping up and down and hooping and hollering and screaming and acting crazy. They're going to be like, okay, well, I don't know that guy. Same essentially with ducks. You go to screaming at these ducks, they're going to be like, okay, something's not right with that. That's not right. Let's go over here where it seems a little bit more safe. Same thing. So don't scream at your duck. Ducks do not championship duck call. So don't call ducks like this. There's a time and a place for that. Duck call's not one of them as far as I'm concerned. If you feel like you need to call at some ducks 655,472 yards out, and you've got your buddy that can see a duck halfway from Louisiana to Texas, I've hunted with a couple of friends, Cody, that can do that, sure, if you want to call at those birds, call at them. It's not really going to do a lot of good. What's going to happen is, while you're screaming at those ducks that you can barely see, that look like the half a smidget of an ant at 7 million miles out, you're going to have a group of pintail coming over the top of your head, and when you're screaming at them, you're going to flare those pintail. The feed call. Everybody wants to do a feed call. The feed call is really basic. I'm going to touch on a real feed call the rolling feed call or the refuge feed, whatever you guys want to call it. Basic feed call, okay? Duck sitting on the water, one lone duck on the water is not, it's not that series of loud, fast clucks and ticks that you hear, okay? He's just chuckling. It's one duck, you know, chuckling around. He's just eating, you know, getting his little acorns or whatever. He's gonna sound like this. To make that call, okay, turn the call backwards. You're doing some controlled burst with ticks at the tongue, okay? It's not, a lot of people say, imagine making a machine gun sound when you were a kid. Don't do that. It sounds like this. Ducks don't do that. Please don't do that, okay? One single duck feeding on the water. That's a feed call. And to get that, like I said, I'm just ticking my tongue real, you know, hard, short, controlled burst, and clicking my tongue to the top of my mouth, the roof of my mouth, okay? A lot of people wonder about how much air pressure should you apply. Just enough to make the reeds click in the call, okay? It's not the same. You're not trying to make the reed continue to flap and make a call, such as, because that's what your reeds are doing. They're just vibrating there, okay? With this, you're clicking. Multiple ducks feeding on the water. This is the, I guess you could call this the refuge feed or rolling feed. A lot of people, the refuge feed or rolling feed is a series of quacks integrated with the, you know, feed call. So feed call for multiple ducks, if you've got a bunch of decoys and, you know, you got open water, this is what you're going to be going for. Alright, it's really basic. There's no set amount of notes, whatever. Just be completely random with it. Just be random. Don't be a machine. Alright, how to do that, the feeding call, multiple ducks. It's basically the same thing. The first feeding call we had, except you're using a lot more notes, and instead of ticking your tongue and just tick 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 tick, you're getting okay. The way I do it, I'm clicking off of the top, the roof, and the bottom of my mouth. So I'm going right? So what I'm doing. So I'm gonna do that into the call. And then just speed it up. So there's that. It's basic. And the amount of air, you're just easing some air out as you're clicking, just enough to make the reed of the call click. Refuge feed, rolling feed. This is what everybody wants to do. This is it. You're just adding some quacks, just a little series of quacks into your fast feed, your you know, feed call for a lot of birds like we just went over, okay? This is your rolling feed. That's it. And the Hale call, okay? A lot of people mistake the Hale call, like I said earlier, for that loud, crazy championship calling. Stop, 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 stop. Ducks don't do that, okay? Your Hale call It's basically your comeback call, your communication call, but louder, more aggressive. Instead of saying, hey bro, come here. Now, you know, your birds are at a distance, but they're still callable, okay? You want to really get their attention. Basically what it is these birds are at such a distance, they're not going to hear a lot of tone, but they will hear the call, and it'll get their attention. And as they're flying away, if they can hear just a slight bit of what you're saying to them, it's going to get their attention. They're going to turn and say, hold up, wait, I think we need to go back and check this out. And then as they come in, you can hit them with the comeback call or the feed and chuckle and things like that. Basic principle, same amount of notes, just a little bit louder, a little bit more aggressive to get some attention of some birds that are at a distance, but they're not 7 billion miles away, okay? This is your Hale call. That's your Hale call. Like I said, that's basic, the same as a comeback call, so I don't really have to give tips on how to blow it. You just drag it out a little bit more, be louder, be a little bit more aggressive. And another user favorite is the hiccup. The hiccup is a basic quack with a tick of your tongue, kind of like a feed call. So you get this. That's it. All I'm doing there. After I click my tongue, I'm giving a little bit more air. And it'll give it that little squeak. So you get. All right. And one more people favorite is the squealing comeback call. That's where you pinch the note down with your mouth and close off the air, and it causes a squeal at the bottom of your tone, at the bottom of your note. So you get. That is one of my favorite calls to blow. I'm not gonna lie, I use it all the time. I use it more than a regular comeback call. Some ducks are going away from me, I'll hit them with this just drawn out, just depressed, please come see me squeal comeback call. I'll hit them with this. Okay, basic way to do that is you're doing a comeback call, but at the end of the note, you're pinching your lips together, all right, and I roll my bottom lip onto the call. All right, just pinching my lips together, and it'll squeeze that air off. So you're getting. You want that at the bottom of your note. That's it. Now, just to wrap the video up, I'm going to give you guys some tips on what calls to use, when to call them. I'm going to give a scenario, okay? I've never seen anybody do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to give a scenario. Just say I'm sitting in the duck blind, I'm watching some birds, and I'm going to tell you guys what the birds are doing and what I would use. Like I said, this is just me. What calls I would use when the ducks are doing what. Okay, so we're sitting in the blind. We see a group of mallards. They're 150 yards out. Okay, they're flying, they're not really looking at us, but we know that we're in a good spot, and ducks like to be there. So we know that these birds that are around know this hole is there because we've scouted, of course. If you don't scout, you're not killing birds. I'm sorry. Go scout. Don't be lazy. You want to kill birds, go see the birds. So these ducks are 100 yards out, and they're flying by, but they're not really coming towards us. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit them with a Hale call, comeback call mix, a little communication call. I'm going to let them know I'm there. I'm going to watch what they do. Give them a second. Pause. Don't just call. You can't overcall. You call too much, you're not going to kill birds. Pause for a minute. See what the birds do. If they keep flying, hit them with it again. If they turn, you might see that head start moving. You'll see those mallards. They'll start turning that head. They're paying attention. Okay? And they might turn toward you. And they might start, coming in. And just to add a little bit more emphasis, they're still a pretty good ways away, but they're coming to you. Hit them with just a small comeback call. Now you've got their attention. Okay? Now you've got their attention. They're coming straight to you. They've seen you. They've seen your mojos. They've seen your water motion. They know you're there. Now they're curious. So now you really want to let them know, hey, there's ducks down here. There's food. It's nice. It's cool. It's chill. It's safe. You're not going to die like those, your buddies just died 10 minutes ago over there. So you want to just talk to them, communicate with them, let them know what's going on. So I'll hit them with a little bit of and by this time, now they've gotten close. Just say they're making a circle. They're coming around, you got your head down, you're not looking at them, you're looking at their reflection off of the water because that's what you're supposed to do. If you ever hunt with anybody and you got ducks circling the hole and they're doing this, don't hunt with that person anymore. Just stop. Keep your head down, hide your eyes, because you have a lot of white in your eyes. Those ducks have freaking eagle vision. Okay, they will pick your eyeballs out, especially when your face painted and you're all huddled up in your camo. They'll pick you out. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm passionate about this. So they come around. Okay, they're making a circle. They're coming around behind you. Now is when you don't want to move. You don't want to make a sound. You don't want to do anything. You want to let your decoys work, your water motion. You want them to see what's going on. If you call while they're banking right behind you, they're going to pick you out. It's a bad deal. They come over, okay? I'm going to face this way so you guys understand what I'm saying. They come over, they swing around, and they're making a left-hand turn, okay? As they make that left-hand turn, now you're looking at their tail feathers and their wingtips, okay? Now you want to hit them with a comeback call. And that, most of the time, if everything works out right, the planets align, the stars align, and everything's perfect, they're going to cut hard. In my experience, mallard ducks always make one final pass. They'll swing out wide, okay? And they'll come back, and then they'll sometimes they'll surprise you. You might hit them with a good little sweet, just nasty, sweet-talking comeback call. And the whole group might turn around, and that might just come in just cupped up pretty. And Lord knows it's beautiful. But most of the time, they're going to swing back around. They're going to make one wide pass, and then they're going to come in with the wind. Play it out. As they're swinging around, just say they get out in front of you, they make that wide pass. That's when you just sweet talk them, finesse them. And, then they might be coming back around. Just say they circle in behind you, and you'll hear those old mallards. They were doing that flying chuckle. This is where that flying communication chuckle comes in and stuff. What I take from it is, it's flight ducks communicating with each other, whether it's them, getting distance from each other or whatever it may be, like geese do. That's why geese are so loud when they fly. They're staying in formation and everything. But flight mallards, will do a little small communication chuckle. A flight chuckle is what I call it. Sounds like this. It's a nice sound, because if you hear it, they're close and they're really interested. And now by this time, they might come around and they might circle back around, and you hit them one last time with a sweet comeback call. And they turn and they come in straight to you with the wind, and just come in cupped up, locked in, just locked and loaded. And as they come over the top of the decoys, you smoke them. It's a good morning for me, guys. I'm passionate about this. I'm telling you, if you can't tell, I'm emotionally getting into it. Like, I feel like I'm there, opening morning telling this story. Like, it's happening in my head. Guys, I think that's about all I've got for right now. If you enjoyed the video, if it helps you out, click that like button. Share the video. Maybe help out a friend. If you want to critique my calling or give me any advice, I'm always open for advice. I mean, I'm not somebody that can't learn anything. If somebody can teach me something, or if I can better what I'm doing by someone else's advice, I'm more than willing to take that advice, guys. Hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. Got more videos coming up. There's going to be a lot of hunting videos on the channel this year. Just starting the channel, so it's kind of starting to grow. And for my subscribers that I have now, you guys that are following me now, I'm more than thankful, more than blessed. You guys are helping me grow, and it is amazing. I never would have thought that I would have seen the growth that I have seen just in the past month. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And look, duck season's coming up. Good luck to all of you guys. If you have any video suggestions or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. More than happy to answer any questions you guys have. If you guys have a video that you can't find that you need on a specific call, or maybe more in-depth calling, how-tos. If you guys want that, hit me in the comments and let me know. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped somebody. Back 40 TV. God bless y'all. We gone.